Have you ever let someone's careless words ruin your entire day? Has a small gesture, a cold text, a disapproving look, or a moment of thoughtlessness ever shaken your peace? But what if you could walk through it all and stay calm, completely untouched? We've all been there. One rude comment, one inconsiderate action, or a single unexpected inconvenience, and suddenly your entire mood shifts. Frustration creeps in, and you think, they just ruined my day. But here's the truth. No one can control your emotions unless you hand them the remote. Imagine this. You're enjoying a quiet morning, sipping your coffee, taking in the fresh air, and then, out of nowhere, someone throws a snarky remark your way. In an instant, your peace evaporates and frustration takes its place. But let me ask you, did they really ruin your peace, or did you give them that power? Here's the mindset shift. Your reaction is your choice. Think of it like wearing noise-canceling headphones in the middle of a noisy city. The chaos is still there. Cars honking, people shouting, but you don't hear it. It no longer affects you. That's what emotional mastery feels like. Life doesn't stop being loud, but you stop letting it get to you. One powerful quote sums it up perfectly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. True power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from learning how to control yourself. And when you can master your reactions, you're not just protecting your peace, you're reclaiming your life. That's the first foundational lesson in mastering your emotions. Understand that your reactions are your responsibility, your choice. When someone cuts you off in traffic, talks down to you, or unfairly criticizes your work, it's so easy to point the finger and say, "They made me mad." But what if you didn't react right away? What if you paused just for a moment? Because in that pause, you reclaim your power. The power to choose calm over chaos. The power to respond with strength instead of emotion. Let's make this real. Imagine you're in a meeting, and a coworker abruptly shuts down your idea in front of everyone. It stings. Your first instinct might be to fire back to defend yourself, or to sit in silence, letting resentment stew for the rest of the day. But instead, what if you took a breath and asked yourself, is this really about me? Or are they dealing with their own stress, insecurity, or bias? Just that simple act of reframing can completely disarm the emotional sting. What makes this approach powerful is that it's not about denying your feelings. It's about separating your emotions from your reactions. Yes, anger, frustration, and disappointment are natural human responses, but they don't have to determine your next move. Here's a simple yet powerful three-step strategy you can start applying today. Pause and identify the trigger. When you feel something rising inside, anger, hurt, irritation, name it, this act of recognition interrupts the automatic cycle of reaction. Ask reflective questions. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is it really because of what just happened, or how I'm interpreting it? Choose your response intentionally. Don't react in the heat of the moment. Respond in a way that honors your values and protects your long-term peace. Just imagine what your life would feel like if people's rude behavior, careless comments, or minor inconveniences no longer got under your skin. Imagine walking through your day with a quiet confidence that no one can shake because your emotions are no longer dictated by what others do. Every moment gives you a choice. You can let others control your peace, or you can protect it. You can absorb chaos, or you can reflect calm. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, remember, their behavior doesn't define you. Your reaction does. And when you choose peace, you don't just gain emotional mastery, you step into true freedom. True. Here's a truth we often forget. Every person is walking their own path. Their behavior is shaped by their upbringing, experiences, beliefs, and personal priorities. So when someone does something that annoys or hurts you, it's rarely about you. It's a mirror of them. Trying to control or change how others act is like chasing the wind. It only leaves you exhausted and powerless. Instead of obsessing over how people should behave, try shifting your focus to accepting people for who they are. Take this example. You've got a coworker who constantly interrupts during meetings. You feel disrespected, annoyed, maybe even tempted to snap. But what if, instead of stewing in frustration or plotting a clever comeback, you simply recognize this habit is about them, not me? By letting go of the expectation that they'll magically change you, release yourself from emotional turbulence. There's a timeless piece of wisdom that captures this idea perfectly. Expectations are the root of all suffering. The fewer expectations you place on others' behavior, the more peace you protect within yourself. Now, how do we practice this mindset in everyday life? Try this simple exercise the next time you feel let down or upset by someone. 1. Acknowledge the expectation. When you're feeling hurt, ask yourself, what did I expect them to do? 2. Challenge that expectation. Is it realistic to expect someone to behave exactly the way you would? Are they even aware of your standards? 3. Shift your focus. Instead of trying to manage someone else's behavior, ask, how can I respond with calm and protect my peace? Imagine how liberating it would be to walk through life unaffected by rude strangers, forgetful friends, or thoughtless co-workers. Their actions lose power over you, not because they've changed, but because you've changed how you respond. The truth is, people are who they are not, who you wish they were. Accepting this doesn't mean tolerating poor behavior or compromising your values. It simply means recognizing this powerful truth. Your peace is too precious to be tied to things you can't control. So the next time someone disappoints or frustrates you, pause and remind yourself, they're acting from their nature, not mine. And that's okay, because I choose how I respond. Letting go of those expectations is not weakness, it's freedom. Freedom from the emotional weight you no longer need to carry. Think back to the last time you had an argument. Maybe it was something small, like debating which route was faster, or maybe it was something heavier, like a conflict with a close friend or partner. As the conversation escalated, did you feel that burning urge to prove your point, to make sure they knew you were right? We've all been there, clutching our perspective, like a lifeline, unwilling to let go. But here's the hard truth that need to be right all the time. It's exhausting and often unnecessary. Most of the time, our desire to win arguments stems from something deeper: insecurity. We start to believe that being wrong somehow threatens our identity or makes us look weak. But what if we let go of that need altogether? What if we could approach disagreements with curiosity instead of defensiveness? Here's a powerful question to carry with you. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be at peace? Because so often the pursuit of being right only leads to tension, broken connections, and lingering frustration. But letting go of that need, it opens the door to peace, to mutual understanding, and to clarity. Picture this. Someone unfairly accuses you of something. Your gut reaction may be to argue, back, defend yourself, or even call them out. But what if you paused instead and asked yourself, is it really worth it? Will proving I'm right change anything meaningful? Most of the time, the honest answer is probably not. Or take another example, A friend insists that their way of solving a problem is better than yours. Rather than entering a debate, you calmly respond, "I see where you're coming from, and I respect your view." Just like that, you diffuse the tension, and more importantly, you protect your inner calm. The Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "He who is attached to his views will never grow." That wisdom still holds true today. Letting go of the need to be right doesn't mean giving up your values or staying silent when something matters. It means learning to choose your battles wisely. Not every disagreement is worth your peace, and not every opinion needs to be defended. When you're in a disagreement, what you do before you respond can determine everything that follows. Here are 3 practical, powerful steps to help you stay grounded, conserve your energy, and protect your peace even in the heat of the moment. Step 1. Pause before responding. The moment you feel that surge of emotion, that urge to argue, defend, or win, don't act immediately. Instead, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? That small pause gives you space to respond from clarity, not chaos. Step 2. Seek to understand, not to win. Instead of focusing on proving your point, shift your mindset to curiosity. Ask questions that help you understand the other person's perspective. You'll be surprised how often this simple shift calms the conversation and may even uncover something meaningful you hadn't seen before. Step 3. Choose your battles. Not every disagreement deserves your energy. Save it for the moments that truly matter, those that align with your values or impact something important in your life. Arguing for the sake of being right is easy, but knowing when to walk away, that's real wisdom. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. Letting go of the need to win every conversation gives you a sense of freedom you didn't know you needed. You'll feel lighter, calmer, and more in control, because you've stopped letting every disagreement pull you into emotional chaos. Arguments no longer grip your heart the way they once did. Why? Because you've chosen peace over ego. And that's a choice that elevates you, not just emotionally, but spiritually too. Remember this. Your worth isn't defined by how many arguments you win. It's reflected in how you carry yourself, how you protect your energy, and how you preserve your inner peace. So next time you're tempted to dive into a heated discussion, pause and ask yourself, will being right make me happy? Or will being calm serve me better? In that quiet pause, you'll experience the true power of letting go. Picture this. You're sharing an idea you're passionate about. Your heart is in it. And then someone cuts in with a dismissive comment. Suddenly, that excitement fades. Doubt creeps in. Confidence slips. Sound familiar? Why does that happen? Because far too often we give others' opinions more weight than our own. We internalize their words as truth, forgetting one critical reality. Their words reflect their perspective, not your value. But here's where everything changes. The moment you choose to detach your self-worth from someone else's opinion, you take your power back. You protect your peace, your purpose, and your identity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." That quote hits hard because it's so true. And no, this isn't about ignoring feedback or shutting people out. It's about filtering, knowing what to take in and what to let go. Constructive feedback can help you grow, but toxic criticism, empty judgment, they don't deserve to live in your mind, rent-free. So how do you stop letting others' words define your worth? Try this simple but powerful process. Step 1. Pause before reacting. When someone's words sting, breathe. Just one breath. can create the space you need to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. Step 2. Separate fact from opinion. Ask yourself, is there truth in what they said, or is this just their viewpoint? If there's something to learn, take it. If not, release it. Not every comment deserves your attention. Step 3. Reaffirm your worth. Remind yourself, my value does not depend on anyone else's approval. Your worth is built in. It's not up for negotiation. It doesn't rise or fall with someone else's mood or misunderstanding. Lao Tzu said it best. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop surrendering your joy to opinions that don't help you grow. Because the truth is, no one's words can define you unless you let them. So the next time someone's comment shakes your confidence, pause. Ask yourself, am I letting this define me? Or am I holding on to what I know is true about who I am? That's your power, right? There in that pause and that awareness. True strength isn't about avoiding criticism. It's about knowing your worth, no matter what comes your way. When you stop letting the noise of others drown out your inner truth, you create space for something far more powerful. Confidence, clarity, and unshakable peace. And that is a life no one can take from you. Picture this. You're finally getting a moment to breathe in the middle of your hectic day when your phone rings. It's a friend asking for help again. It's something they could probably handle themselves, but here they are relying on you. Or maybe a coworker drops a last-minute task on your lap, assuming you'll say yes. You feel torn wanting to help, but also frustrated because this wasn't in your plan. Sound familiar? Why is it so hard to say no? Here's the truth. Protecting your peace requires setting boundaries. And despite what many of us were taught, boundaries aren't selfish, they're essential. Without them, your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being get pulled in directions that may not serve you. Saying yes to everyone else might feel noble, but more often than not, it means you're saying no to yourself. One powerful reminder says it best. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving, sacrificing your rest, your plans, or your mental space, you'll eventually run dry. Burnout, resentment, disconnection from your own needs. That's the cost of boundaryless living. But here's something to really consider. When someone oversteps your boundaries, it's not entirely their fault. It's your responsibility to define and enforce what is and isn't okay for you. People aren't mind readers. Unless you clearly communicate your limits, they'll likely continue crossing lines often without even realizing it. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they do more than protect you. They teach others how to treat you. Let's look at an example. Maybe you're the go-to person in your friend group. Everyone comes to you with their problems, sometimes even late at night. You love them, you want to be there, but deep down, you're drained. Instead of silently resenting the late-night messages, you set a boundary. I care about you, and I want to support you, but I need to protect my evenings to rest. Let's talk tomorrow during the day. It's clear, it's kind, and it tells the other person exactly where you stand without guilt. Epictetus said it well. Freedom is the ability to live as we wish. Living freely doesn't mean shutting people out. It means choosing where your energy goes and not giving more than you can sustain. Boundaries give you that freedom. They help you prioritize what truly matters and protect your emotional balance in the process. So how do you actually start setting boundaries that people will respect? Here are 3 powerful steps to help you set boundaries effectively and stick to them. Step 1. Be clear and honest. When communicating a boundary, speak calmly, but be direct. People are far more likely to respect your limits when they clearly understand them. Ambiguity invites misunderstanding, so instead of hoping others just get it, take responsibility for stating your needs with clarity. Step 2. Use I statements. Instead of pointing fingers or placing blame, express your needs in a way that centers your experience. For example, say, "I need quiet time after work to recharge," rather than, "You're always interrupting me." This simple shift diffuses defensiveness and opens the door to honest conversation. Step 3. Stick to your boundaries. Once you've set a limit, honor it. If you don't take your boundaries seriously, no one else will. Consistency is key. It shows that you're not only aware of your needs, but committed to protecting them. There's a beautiful piece of wisdom from Lao Tzu that fits perfectly here. He who knows when to stop does not find himself in trouble. In other words, knowing your limits and respecting them helps you avoid unnecessary stress, conflict, and burnout. And here's something important to remember. Boundaries aren't barriers meant to shut people out. They're bridges, tools that help you build stronger, healthier, more balanced relationships. When people know where you stand, they're more likely to meet you there with mutual respect. So the next time you feel stretched thin, overwhelmed, or taken for granted, pause and ask yourself, have I clearly communicated what I need? Am I honoring my own boundaries as much as I expect others to? Because when you set those limits with intention, you begin to free yourself. Free from guilt, free from resentment, and free from obligations that don't serve your well-being. A final reminder. You are not responsible for managing everyone else's emotions, fixing their problems, or being available 24/7. Your primary responsibility is to protect your time, your peace, and your emotional health. And here's the beautiful part. When you prioritize your own well-being, you don't give less to the world. You give it your best. The truth is, the need for approval runs deep. From an early age, we're conditioned to seek validation from teachers, friends, family, and even strangers. But depending on others for your sense of worth is like chasing shadows. You'll always feel just one step behind, never quite satisfied. Emotional freedom begins when you stop letting other people's perceptions define you. Think of it this way. Every person views life through a unique lens, one shaped by their experiences, assumptions, insecurities, and beliefs. So when someone criticizes you or questions your choices, it often says more about them than it does about you. But if you internalize those opinions, if you let them sink into your heart, you're handing over the pen and letting them write your story. So here's the question worth asking. Why let someone else control your narrative? One simple but powerful truth to hold on to is this. Your worth is not up for debate. It isn't based on someone's praise or their judgment. It's not conditional, not transactional. Your value is unshakable, rooted in who you are, not in how others see you. Let's ground this in something practical. Imagine you walk into work wearing a brand new outfit. You love something that makes you feel alive, confident, and fully yourself. But then a coworker casually says, "That's an interesting choice." In that moment, you have a choice. You could let their remark dim your light, second-guess your style, and shrink your energy. Or you could smile, remind yourself why you love it, and move on. That's what emotional detachment looks like. You still hear the words, but they no longer hold power. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." It sounds extreme, even a little blunt, but it's deeply freeing. Growth often means doing things that others don't understand. And if you're always chasing approval, you'll never allow yourself the discomfort that growth requires. So how do you start detaching from others' opinions in real life? Try these 3 steps. 1. Question the importance. When someone's opinion rattles, you pause and ask, why does this matter to me? What authority do they truly have over my life? Most of the time, the answer is none. To reaffirm your values, refocus on what actually matters. Your goals, your principles, your vision for your life. Center yourself in what's real to you, not what's expected of you. 3. Practice letting go. When judgment or criticism shows up, notice it without clinging to it. Picture their words as leaves floating down a stream. They appear, they pass, and then they're gone. Lao Tzu expressed it beautifully. Care about people's approval, and you will always be their prisoner. But here's the key. This mindset doesn't mean ignoring feedback or isolating yourself. It means learning to filter, receiving what helps you grow, and releasing what weighs you down. Constructive input can sharpen you, but baseless judgment, that belongs to them, not to you. And that same sense of inner freedom applies to how we handle conflict. Because no matter how centered we become, there will still be moments when others try to provoke us, when tempers flare, and words are thrown like daggers. So, let's talk about this powerful truth. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. 7. Respond with silence, not anger. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated conversation. Someone says something offensive, maybe even intentional. You feel your pulse quicken, your jaw clench, and the urge to snap back builds like a wave inside you. But then you pause, and instead of responding, you say nothing. It sounds simple, maybe even passive, but it's not. In that moment, your silence becomes a shield, a declaration, a choice. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Responding with silence doesn't mean you're avoiding the issue or conceding defeat. It means you're choosing peace over escalation. It means you're refusing to let someone else's chaos infect your calm. There's timeless truth in this. The less you respond to negativity, the more peace you create in your life. Think about it. Silence sends a message that's louder than words. It says, I control my emotions, not you. Let's bring this to life with a real-world example. Imagine you're in a meeting at work. You offer a thoughtful idea, but a colleague cuts in and tries to undercut you in front of everyone. Your pride stings, and your first instinct is to clap back to defend yourself. Prove your point and expose their pettiness. But instead, you take a breath. You stay composed. You say nothing. In that silence, you steal the spotlight, not with noise, but with presence. You maintain your dignity while they expose their insecurity. You deny them the reaction they were hoping for, and in doing so, you rise. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." And he was right. Anger feeds on reaction. Silence starves it. When you choose stillness over a shouting match, you break the cycle of negativity. You preserve your power. So next time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, is my peace worth this fight? More often than not, the answer is no. Think of silence as a shield, not something that hides you, but something that deflects negativity without pulling you into the emotional crossfire. It doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you choose not to be ruled by what you feel in the heat of the moment. So how do you make silence your strongest response when you're provoked? Here are 3 simple but transformative steps. Step 1. Pause before reacting. When someone says something triggering, don't let your emotions take the driver's seat. Instead, breathe. That pause is powerful. It's the space where clarity can enter before chaos takes over. Step 2. Listen without defending. Not every remark deserves a rebuttal. Sometimes people just need to vent, and when you allow them to speak without interruption or defense, you take back control. You're no longer reacting, you're observing, and that keeps you grounded. Step 3. Speak only when necessary. If a response is required, keep it calm, clear, and concise. Don't let your words spill from a place of ego or impulse. Let them come from intention. The goal isn't to win the argument. It's to preserve your peace. There's an old Buddhist teaching that captures this beautifully. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. That's not about suppression. It's about selection. It's not ignoring the issue. It's recognizing that not every issue needs your energy right now. Think back for a moment. How many times have you said something in anger, only to regret it? Moments later, silence removes that regret. It gives you time to reflect, reassess, and respond rather than react on impulse. Because sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all. So the next time someone tries to bait you into a reaction, ask yourself, will saying something here add value or just add fuel? If the answer is the latter, you already know what to do. By choosing silence, you're not backing down. You're standing tall in your own self-control. You're protecting your energy. You're controlling the narrative. You're refusing to let someone else's chaos dictate your emotional climate. And here's the deeper truth. Silence isn't the absence of a response. It's the presence of wisdom. It's you rising above the noise and declaring without a single word, "Your words don't control me. My peace does." That's how you win battles without ever raising your voice. Picture this, you're having one of those days. Everything seems to go wrong. Plans fall apart. Someone says something rude. A string of tiny inconveniences snowballs into overwhelming stress, and anger starts bubbling to the surface. What if instead of spiraling deeper into what's not working, you made a conscious shift? What if you turned your focus, even for a moment, to what is working? That's the quiet power of gratitude. Gratitude is like a reset button for your mind. It doesn't ignore your frustration. It reframes it. It gently pulls you out of the storm and reminds you of the sun still shining behind the clouds. And here's a powerful truth worth remembering. You can't feel truly grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude disrupts the emotional spiral. It invites peace back into the moment. It's not magic, but it's incredibly effective. Let's bring it down to something simple. You're stuck in traffic, late for something important. Horns are blaring. Your jaw is tight, your patience gone. Now stop and breathe. In that breath, find 3 things to be grateful for. Maybe it's the fact that you have a car, or that you're headed to an opportunity others might wish for. Maybe it's just the song playing on the radio that brings back a memory you love. It might seem small, but that small shift, it transforms the moment. The philosopher Cicero once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others." Why? Because gratitude doesn't just dissolve anger, it builds strength. It grows your patience. It trains your mind to focus on what matters most, even in the mess. So how do you make gratitude a consistent part of your emotional toolkit? Here are 3 ways. Step 1, pause and reflect. The next time anger rises, take a breath and ask yourself, what's one thing I can be thankful for right now? Start small. Even one spark of gratitude can shift your perspective. Step 2, keep a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that went well, no matter how simple. A smile from a stranger, a warm cup of coffee, a moment of clarity. Over time, This habit rewires your brain to look for the good. Step 3. Use gratitude as a reframe. When you face a challenge, ask, what can I learn from this? How could this have been worse? Even in criticism, you can find perspective. Say someone criticizes you harshly. Instead of letting anger take over, try this reframe. I'm grateful for the opportunity to grow, even if the delivery wasn't kind. That doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does protect your emotional balance. It reminds you that you are still in charge of how you feel. As the Buddha once said, let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it anchors you in perspective. It reminds you that even in hard moments, you are not without blessings. That's why it's just as important to know what to take in and what to let go. Not every critical comment deserves your energy. Some people criticize from a place of envy, insecurity, ignorance, or even bitterness. And if you carry every opinion with equal weight, you'll end up buried under a pile of emotional clutter. The key is discernment. Filter what you hear. Keep what's constructive. Discard the rest. So how do you handle criticism with grace and confidence? Here's a simple, grounded approach. Step 1. Pause before reacting. When someone throws criticism your way, especially if it stings, don't react right away. Take a deep breath. That pause allows your logic to catch up to your emotion. Step 2. Evaluate the source. Ask yourself, who is this person? Do they truly know me? Do they have my best interests at heart? Are they qualified to speak into this part of my life? Sometimes it's not what's said. It's who's saying it. Step 3. Find the lesson. Even if the delivery is clumsy or harsh, ask, is there any truth here that can help me grow? Not all feedback is pleasant, but some of it is necessary. And wisdom means pulling value even from uncomfortable places. Let's bring this closer to home. Imagine a family member makes a sharp comment about your career, your lifestyle, or the way you raise your children. Your instinct might be to argue, defend, or emotionally shut down. But instead, you calmly say, I hear your concerns. I'll think about what you've said. That response shows strength, not surrender. It de-escalates the moment and gives you space to reflect without falling into unnecessary conflict. There's a powerful reminder from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said, but respond. He does not know my other faults, or he would not have mentioned only these. This isn't self-deprecation, it's self-awareness. It's a reminder that we are all flawed, and criticism is often just a glimpse into someone else's perception. So when someone critiques, you ask, what can I learn from this? Is this about me, or does it say more about them? How can I grow from this without shrinking who I am? Lao Tzu reminds us with quiet wisdom. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Criticism, when received with the right mindset, becomes a mirror revealing not just how others see you, but who you truly are beneath their words. It's rarely comfortable. But then again, growth never is. By learning to accept feedback, even when it stings, you build resilience, you cultivate humility, and you strengthen your sense of self in a way that no harsh word can shake. So the next time criticism shows up at your door, don't slam it shut. See it not as a wound, but as a window into your next level. Because growth often hides in discomfort. And the people who learn to embrace it, they unlock a strength that's deeper, quieter, and unshakably powerful. 10 Master, the art of letting go. Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand. You're clenching it tightly, waiting for just the right moment to throw it at the person who hurt you. But while you're waiting, the coal is scorching your skin. The heat doesn't touch them. It only burns you. That's what anger, grudges, and resentment do. They wound us far more than the people who caused the pain. Letting go isn't weakness. It's not forgetting. It's not saying what happened was okay. It's strength, it's freedom. It's choosing to release the emotional weight that's been dragging you down and reclaiming your peace. Because the longer you carry the past, the heavier it gets. The Buddha said it perfectly. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, has holding on to this pain really helped me heal? Or has it been keeping me stuck? Think back to a time when someone deeply wronged you. Maybe they betrayed your trust, misjudged your character, or said something cruel. How many hours, days, even weeks did you spend replaying it in your head? Did it change what happened? Or did it just keep the wound open? Letting go is the antidote to that endless loop. It doesn't erase the past, but it releases its control over your present. Here's a simple example. You're at work. You share a brilliant idea in a meeting, and later a colleague presents it as their own. Your blood boils. You feel invisible. You could stew over it for days. Let it ruin your focus, damage your mood, or you could let it go. Not because it wasn't wrong, but because your worth isn't tied to one moment. Because your peace matters more than being right. Because your future deserves your full energy, not fragments drained by a past you can't rewrite. Lao Tzu once said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." Letting go isn't just about releasing resentment. It's about releasing resistance. Resistance to change, resistance to imperfection, resistance to things not going the way we planned. It's also about loosening the grip of control. The idea that everything has to be fair, predictable, or perfect in order for you to be okay. So how do you start practicing this art of letting go? Here's how. Step 1. Acknowledge your emotions. Don't suppress. Don't pretend. Let yourself feel the hurt, the anger, the disappointment. Sit with it without judging it. That's how healing begins. Step 2. Reframe the experience. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this here to teach me? How can I grow from this, even if it still stings?" When you let go, you're not giving up. You're rising up. You're clearing space for joy, clarity, and purpose to move in. Step 3. Focus on the present. Letting go isn't something you do for someone else. It's something you do for yourself. It's a gift. You give your own heart. And the moment you decide to release what's weighing you down, you bring your focus back to where your true power lies, right here, right now. Think of it like holding on to a balloon. At first, it might seem manageable, but over time, your hand starts to cramp. The string cuts into your skin. The tension builds. And all the while, you're the one gripping it tighter and tighter. Now imagine simply letting it go, watching it float away into the sky. Suddenly, your hand is free. Your body relaxes, and you feel lighter. That's the emotional shift of letting go. Life becomes less about what already happened and more about what's still possible. There's a powerful reminder from Marcus Aurelius that captures this beautifully. Do not be disturbed by what is outside your power. Let it go, and you will find peace. Letting go doesn't mean accepting injustice or allowing others to mistreat you. It means choosing where your energy goes. It means recognizing what you can change your response, your focus, your next step, and releasing the rest. So the next time you find yourself replaying a moment, holding on to resentment, or clinging to regret, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? What would my life feel like if I chose to let this go? Because that answer, it will lead you toward freedom. True strength isn't found in holding on. It's found in the courage to release what no longer serves you, and in doing so, becoming lighter, calmer, and stronger than ever before. And there you have it, 10 powerful lessons to help you master your emotions and stay unbothered no matter what life throws your way. These aren't just inspirational thoughts. They're tools you can reach for every single day to protect your peace, build resilience, and take back control of your inner world. Because emotional mastery isn't about shutting off your feelings. It's about learning how to respond with clarity, confidence, and calm. It's not about avoiding life's chaos. It's about navigating it without losing yourself. So as you move forward, take these truths with you. Pause before you react. Set boundaries that protect your energy. Detach from what doesn't serve you. Let go when it's time, and choose peace every single time. Because every time you choose peace over anger, clarity over chaos, calm over control, you're stepping deeper into the unshakable life you were meant to live. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs a little more stillness in their world. And if you have tips or stories of your own on how you stay grounded and unbothered, I'd love to hear them. Drop a comment below. You never know who your story might help. After everything we've explored together, one truth becomes clear. Inner peace isn't something you reach just once. It's a daily practice. A process shaped in the small emotional moments that life throws your way. Thank you for walking this journey with me. And remember, emotional freedom isn't a destination. It's something you build day by day. It's in the moments you choose to pause before reacting, in the silence you hold instead of anger, in every night you choose gratitude over regret. So keep showing up for yourself. No matter how today went, you always have the power to begin again. Stay mindful, stay grounded, and keep growing stronger. Not because you control everything around you, but because you're learning to master what's within. Until next time, take care, protect your peace, and keep walking forward with calm resilience, no matter what storms may come. Because in the next section, we'll dive even deeper into how to sustain this emotional strength, especially when real life starts testing your limits.